lazy exercises. I've been seeing this a lot, and I've been commenting a lot, but it's like I should make a video instead. It's the idea of low calories versus high calories, essentially. Because a lot of people make excuses for not eating less calories. And this is part of the whole issue people have with dieting, is they keep making excuses of like, I'm restricting myself. I hate eating less calories because I'm still hungry. And it's like, you're not eating less calories. I see what a lot of y'all eat, and that's not less calories. A lot of y'all eat 1,500 calories and up. Sometimes you're on a 1,600 calories, 1,700 calorie diet, and it's like, you're not restricting your calories. You're eating more calories than I eat. I'm restricting calories more than y'all. And I'm not like, oh, I'm hungry. The thing is, it's not the calories themselves. I know some people who eat less calories than me, and they're full, and they're satisfied. Why? It's because of volume. Here's the thing I just wrote a comment about it. It's like, your mind and body does not know the difference between high-calorie foods and low-calorie foods. It doesn't know the difference because it can't measure the calorie content, right? Like, the only time the calories become a thing is when your body tries to use calories. But because you already have calories in your body, aka fat, your body doesn't know that you only ate 1,000 calories. It only knows, hey, you need 2,000 calories. Oh, cool. Here's 1,000 calories from your stomach or your fat ass, or here's 1,000 calories from your tummy because you just digested 1,000 calories of food. Right? It only knows those details, like the access to the calories is all your body knows. Your body doesn't know how you put it into the body, right? Per se. So this idea of like, oh my God, I'm eating only 1,000 calories. I'm still hungry. It's like, no, it's not the 1,000 calories is why you're still hungry. It's the fact that you ate, like, let's say, 2 honey buns. Because most honey buns are like between 500 to 600 calories. So let's say you ate 2 honey buns, and they're both 500 calories, that's 1,000 calories. You think you're going to be satisfied for a whole entire 16 hours you're awake off of 2 honey buns? You think 2 honey buns is going to satisfy you for 16 hours straight? You think 1 honey bun is going to satisfy you for 8 hours before you eat the second honey bun? You think that's how it works? Most people, when they eat something, especially let's say a honey bun, let's say you eat a honey bun, you're good for 2 hours, but then you're hungry again. Well, yeah, because the honey bun wasn't, your body's like, oh, that honey bun wasn't enough volume. It didn't last that long in the body, because remember, your body had to digest it and all these other factors. So it's like, the honey bun didn't last that long in the body for you to be satisfied. That's where the satisfied comes from. It's like, okay, then what you should have done is not only ate that honey bun, you should have ate a nice big bowl of salad, nice little salad. And you definitely should drink a lot of water before eating the honey bun in the first place, right? To fill that stomach up. Again, the volume, you gotta fill the stomach up. So drink water, 0 calories. You can fill yourself up with as much 0 calories water as you want. Then eat the honey bun. There's the 500 calories. Then eat a salad. Let's say the salad is 100 calories. All right, 600 calories. Do that more than once, right? So let's say you have 2 meals, which is water, salad, and honey bun. All right, so in the total of the day, that's 1,200 calories, which only matters when you obviously doing your cardio and stuff like that, and you're doing a calorie deficit. But it doesn't matter when it comes to you being full and for you to be quote unquote satisfied, as a lot of people like to argue. And it's like, because for me, for example, I can eat a bowl of cereal, right, and I'll be satisfied for like at least 6 hours, if I'm right. It varies, but that's the thing. I can eat a bowl of cereal at 6 in the morning, and I'll be good, and I won't be hungry until 12 noon. So that's 6 hours that I'm not hungry just because I eat 1 bowl of cereal. Let's say that bowl of cereal is about, let's say, 4 cups of 4 cups of cereal plus milk. And let's say, especially if it's a low calorie cereal, because let's go with a low calorie version. Let's say at most it's 400 calories for those, because it's per cup is 100 calories, right? 100 calories per cup, 4 cups, that's 400 calories. You pour a little milk, let's say hypothetically it's a half a cup of milk, or even let's say a cup of milk, regardless, let's say it's not 100 calories, so 500 calories right off the bat. But you're good for 6 hours, right? And then for lunchtime, let's say you have a 400 calorie hoagie, right? You get yourself a hoagie, a sandwich or something, it's 400 calories, right? And you drink a diet drink or water, right? Gotta have the 0 calorie drink, right? So right there, that's 900 calories. And the idea is that sandwich should last you until like 6 more hours, right? Ideally. Or you can eat another bowl of cereal, right? And in your water or your diet soda, right? And then last another 6 hours. So right there's 12 hours. 12 hours, you're able to be satisfied, not have hunger because you ate cereal twice and you're good for 12 hours, right? Like, you have to understand what you eat and how long your body feels good until it's time to eat again. And a lot of times, a lot of the stuff you eat doesn't have high protein, doesn't have fiber. And that's the thing. It's more about protein than fibers, for example, because those are the things that make you feel full and whatnot. Part of that is because it takes a while for your body to break down protein and to break down fiber. And it burns a lot of calories to do so. Therefore, just by eating a lot of proteins and a lot of fiber, you're burning fat. Then you do your cardio, of course, burn even more fat. So you're burning a lot of calories, which is always good. So the fact that you can eat stuff that can help you burn fat makes life easier, which adds to the ability for you to eat more if you want. Because you can be on a 1,500 calorie diet, for example, right? Remember I said the cereal is like 500 calories for breakfast, right? You can have like the sandwich is 500 for lunch, and then for dinner you can have a cup of rice or some beans and eggs, whatever you prefer for dinner, right? Let's say a bowl of mac and cheese or something, another 500 calories. Point is a total of 1,500 calories instead of the 1,000 calories, right? Total of 1,500 calories, and you should be good, right? Or your breakfast is 333 calories, your lunch is 333 calories, and your dinner is 333 calories, which is 999 calories, which is almost 1,000 calories. You can break it down that way. Or you can have 4 meals, which are 250 calories each, which adds up to 1,000. Again, the calorie numbers is only matters when it comes to the calorie deficit thing, because you're trying to burn more calories than you put into the body. But your body does not know how much calories you are or are not putting into the body. It only knows volume. It only knows how much liquid and how much solid, aka food, you put into the body. Right? How much food weight. That's why it's a good idea to weigh your food. Like if you make a bowl of rice, put it on a food scale and see how much it weighs. It's like, oh, 2 pounds. Well, I'm gonna have 2 pounds in my body once I eat it, right? And I'm gonna fill my stomach up 2 pounds. I forgot. I recently looked it up, like how much space is in your stomach, how many ounces I can store. I think 64 ounces or something like that. Maybe even more ounces than that. But the point is like, if it is 64 ounces and you drink 32 ounces of water, which is essentially 2 pounds of water, then that means you have 2 pounds left. Put in 2 pounds of food, you should be full. So 4 pounds in your stomach will fill your stomach, and you should be good for a while because your stomach is full, and it's going to take some time to process that 4 pounds of stuff you consumed. But a lot of people don't think of okay, how much weight when it comes to liquid and solid, aka food, I put into my body that will make me satisfied for how many hours. And that's the issue. A lot of people don't think that, therefore, because they don't think that, they eat less volume, so they eat small items like, oh yeah, I'm trying to eat low calorie foods. And it's like, okay, here's a tablespoon of this, here's some carrots, here's this, here's that, small little items. And it's like, all right, here's a handful of what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat a handful of stuff, and you're supposed to be full on a handful of stuff. No, you'll probably get full on 2 handfuls of stuff, but you're here doing 1 handful because you're trying to eat low calories. But you're being low calories by reducing the size of what you're eating instead of finding big things that has low calories. Like if you can find a donut that's like 50 calories, let's say 50 calories, that's amazing. A donut, and it's a nice big size donut, or a honey bun that's not 600 calories, a honey bun that's 200 calories at most. It's like, oh, that's not bad. It's a big honey bun, it's only 200 calories. Because again, size does matter when it comes to eating. Because if you notice, a McDonald's burger, like even a Big Mac, it's big, but it's still small in comparison. When you're thinking of like a meal, it's still a small item. And it's like 900, or 800 calories or something like that. That's a lot of calories for something so small, for such a small item. But that's the thing. I sometimes buy this sandwich, which is like 500 calories, and it's just one sandwich, and it's the size like of a Big Mac. And it's 500 calories. With 38 grams of protein, of course, which is always nice. But then I can make me 2 turkey sandwiches, which add up to about 400 calories, which is 100 calories less, and the protein is like 28 grams of protein, which is like 10 grams less. But I get 2 sandwiches. Now, if I'm right, both of them equally fill me up, but you get the idea. At least I get 2 sandwiches out of one scenario and versus the other one. Plus, that's one less, 100 calories less eating the 2 sandwiches as opposed to that 1 sandwich. So, again, like, wow, being able to eat more than 1 item that equals up to the same as if I ate 1 item is, this is where you get the whole being satisfied thing. Just like, you don't have to eat the whole entire Big Mac in one sitting. You can cut it in half and eat half of the Big Mac now and the other half later. That way you can be satisfied, right? Because you're able to spread out the food. That's the thing. Sometimes some people eat everything all in one time. That's the other thing. The other mistake that people do is it's not that they don't spread that every meal is not satisfying. It's that they'll eat a meal, right? Eat a large bulk of their calories in one meal, and then a couple hours later they'll be hungry again. But because they have limited themselves to a certain number of calories, they're like, well, I can't eat the same amount as before. I can't eat a 600 calorie meal again, because then that puts me in a 1200 calorie situation when I'm trying to just be 1,000 calories. And that's the problem, is that y'all don't spread out your food. Sometimes, ironically, even though you made yourself like a 500 calorie meal, you can actually eat half of it and be just fine for at least 2 or 3 hours, and then eat the other half. The problem is you'll eat the whole entire sandwich now, and then later, like 2 or 3 hours later, oh, I'm hungry again, and then be like, see, that meal I had wasn't satisfying. It was very satisfying when you ate it. The thing is, the satisfyingness only lasted 2 or 3 hours. You need it to last longer than 2 or 3 hours. So let's say you want it to last 6 hours. For you to be satisfied for 6 hours, you should have ate half of it, which would definitely satisfy you for for 2 to 3 hours, and then eat the other half for 2 to 3 hours. Right? Sometimes it's not just the volume that your body notices; it's also the frequency, like the number of times you eat. Because you can eat 6 times a day, right? And your body will feel like you ate a lot of food, but in reality you didn't. It was not a lot of calories, and it wasn't really a lot of food. You just ate more frequently. Because what's ironic, there'll be people like, oh, I don't eat that much. Yeah, but the thing is, you eat frequently. But yes, every time you eat, it's not a lot of items. Like you might eat a bag of chips, but that bag of chips is like 400 calories. And then later on, you eat a Snickers bar, which is another 400 calories. So the calories add up really fast. But yes, each time you ate, it was a small item, right? Volume, small item, but the amount of calories was so big that when collectively throughout the day, it added up to a big number. Now, if you can eat a couple of little small items here and there throughout the day, and you'll be satisfied, try to find lower calorie versions of that stuff, and do the same thing. Instead of a Snickers bar, which is like 400 calories, eat a protein bar instead, which is probably 200 calories. Or eat half of the Snickers bar, half now, half later. Like I said, this is one of the tips I give people, one of the advices I give people, especially when they first start dieting. I'm not going to tell them, hey, stop eating McDonald's and go eat a salad and start losing weight. No, I'm like, hey, eat half of the McDonald's now and the other half later. Or eat, try to reduce how many times you eat McDonald's in a week, in a month, in a year, right? Like stuff like that. I try to slow them. I try getting them to slowly start reducing how much they intake, how much they eat of a certain thing. But I don't try to prevent them from enjoying what they eat, and of course the frequency. So if they eat 3 times a day, I'm not gonna tell them, oh, start eating 2 times a day, 1 time a day. No, like keep eating 3 times a day, but do this. Especially in the morning, you don't eat. Ironically, you don't need to eat a lot in the morning. You tend to be much more hungrier, in the afternoon, around lunch and dinner. So for breakfast, you should get eat some low calorie snacks like some Nutrigrain bars or something, maybe a protein bar or something, and drink some diet soda or drink water, whatever, or some energy drink, low calorie energy drink. The thing is, try to consume some liquid and something solid that's very low calorie for breakfast. Then lunch you can have a high calorie meal, and dinner you can have a high calorie. So an example that would be eat 200 calories for breakfast, 400 calories for lunch, and 400 calories for dinner. Or you could do 200 calories for breakfast, 300 for lunch, so right there's 500, and then for dinner you can have your big 500 calorie meal, and that's 1,000 altogether. Right? Again, your body's not going to know the difference between you eating 2,000 calories a day or 1,000 calories a day worth of food. What it's going to notice is that you ate 3 times a day, and there was a lot of volume in those times that you ate something. What it cares about is that you ate a certain amount of stuff, not how much calories was in that stuff. Because you can go a whole day eating a whole bunch of 0-calorie stuff, drinking a whole bunch of Diet Cokes, right, drinking water, whatever. Just think about it. Here's the thing. I know for a fact that I've experienced. I was in a situation by force. I didn't choose to be in a situation. I was in a situation where I went a long, long time without food. I was consuming 0 calories a day. Why? Because all I had access to was water and no food. Therefore, I had no choice but to be on a 0-calorie diet, so to speak. And I was doing a lot of walking and a lot of physical activity. So it is possible for you to be satisfied and to go day in, day out with very little calorie consumption, because as long as you're constantly consuming something, in my situation with water, your body will be just fine. The problem is that a lot of people tend to be a little extra with what they're doing to the point where they don't feel satisfied. Because sometimes it depends when you eat that determines, ironically for some people, it determines when you eat that determines how little food, how much, I have trouble trying to say what I'm trying to say. It's like some people are like, I'll say breakfast people. If they have a nice satisfying breakfast, they can skip lunch and just go straight to dinner, right? Like they could just not eat lunch and then just eat dinner. And sometimes some people can eat just two times a day, 1 time a day, and just be fine. Those meals will be satisfying, and because they're going to be volume, they're going to be a lot of food, and then it's probably going to be their 400 calories. Like you can eat 1 meal a day that's 1,000 calories, right? Because one is going to be a lot of food, obviously, because volume. It's going to be satisfying, especially if it has protein, fiber, all that good stuff, right? But it's only 1,000 calories. Imagine eating salad for breakfast, salad for lunch, salad for dinner. Imagine eating 6 salads a day. That's a lot of salad. That's a lot of volume, but it's still going to be low calories. Let's say every salad is 200 calories. 200 calories. You eat 6 salads in 1 day. That's 1,200 calories. That's your 1,200 calorie diet. It's just 6 salads a day. You ate 6 times, right? That's frequency, and it was a lot of salad volume. And you drank a lot of water or Coke, right? Or diet soda or energy, whatever, right? Whatever 0-calorie stuff you can drink. Boom. Your body's not going to know any difference. The thing is, a lot of people, when they start trying to do a lot of the diet stuff, since they're trying to do low calorie, because they're trying to be a calorie deficit, they shrink the volume of what they're eating to produce that 0-calorie outcome, which is why it's a problem that a lot of people try to come up with. It's like, not everybody's eating the same thing. For example, not everybody's eating salad for like lunch, for example. Even though they should, ideally you should eat a salad for lunch. Breakfast should be mostly eggs and stuff. And then dinner, it could be rice with whatever you know, however way you want the rice. It could be fried rice, whatever. It could be created for rice or something. Like technically, that should be your daily meal, right? Eggs in the morning because you're trying to get protein, so eggs and any meat-based product, and then so eggs, protein, right, that kind of stuff, and then lunch mainly should be a salad, fruits and vegetables, basically is what I'm trying to say. You can have an apple, 1 hour banana, and then for dinner, it should be some grains like rice. You can throw in some chicken and some eggs, right? Get some more protein in your diet, right? Some fish or whatever. So you're trying to balance that out that way. But the thing is technically that's how everybody should be eating. But people want to be different and start doing stuff and like, I want Greek yogurt, I want this, I want that, I want a protein bar, I want a high protein honey bun or some stuff. Everybody keeps trying to create quote unquote healthier versions of stuff that they normally eat. And I'm not against that. It's just that it creates the complexity of the fact that it's like, okay, this is where y'all get into the scenario where y'all eating very little because you're trying to have very little calories, so y'all eat very little volume, and that creates a problem. Like seeing these, oh look, these 1 calorie cookies, is like, yeah, they're small as fuck. They're not big like big cookies. It's not the same as an actual cookies. Cookies tend to be bigger, and yes, they tend to have more calories, but they are bigger though. Now, if you can make bigger cookies that are 1 calories, that'd be amazing. But y'all make small ass cookies that are 1 calorie, like, well, the other 1 calorie because they're small, right? Small size. So again, it just defeats the whole purpose. Is like people would typically eat to be full, to be satisfied. So it's like, all right, then eat enough to be satisfied, but try to find ways to have the calories decrease, but not the volume of what you eat to decrease. Unless you can't handle it, unless you have no problem with eating less, then yeah, eat less food. But if you the type of person is like, I can't eat less food, I need to eat more food. All right, cool, eat more food, but make sure they're low calories. Like I found some bread that are half the calories that I used to eat. So it's like, cool, half the calories I used to eat, it's still bread. The bread is still the same size as the other bread. It's just half the calories. Great, so I'm still eating the same amount of bread that I normally eat, but it's just half the calories. That's it. So I'm still gonna be satisfied. I'm still gonna be full because I'm still eating the same amount I normally eat. It's just the calories are low. So I'm never unsatisfied with eating. For me, my only concern is not that like, oh man, I should have ate more. No, for me, I have the opposite of what everybody else complains about. My thing is like, oh man, I should have ate less calories. Man, I wish I didn't eat that bag of chips. That was a 300 calorie bag of chips, even though I could have ate a 150 calorie bag of chips. Or I could have just ate half of that bag of chips. I didn't even have to eat the whole thing. I could have just ate half, and that would have been enough, 150 calories. So for me, it's not the calories that's the problem. That equals me not being hungry. No, it's because it's like I eat volume. The thing is like, I should have ate less calories. Not, the food was fine. It's just that it's like, oh, I could have ate less calories. So I already eat enough that I didn't need to eat those extra calories. I could have reduced the calories. Just like eating 4 eggs, instead of eating 4 whole eggs, take 2 of the yolks out, right, and have 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites, right? That's a way of reducing the calories, but still eating 4 fucking eggs. Some people understand it, but not a lot of people understand that.